Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Communal Podcast. This show is meant to be a composed show, but actually tonight we are not going to be composed. I'm trying very hard not to relieve my true emotions. We've just spent a good few minutes for someone actually releasing those emotions, just so that we can retain a calm and stated manner. First and foremost, welcome. Second of, and most importantly, Jadon Sancho is a Manchester United player.
Yes, easy, wasn't it? Didn't take long.
That was not difficult. It took us a little while.
I didn't even know we were interested in Sancho till today. It was
yeah,
really
who's
shocking.
this guy? Who is this guy?
I saw everyone going on about Sancho, and I was like, "Who is he? I don't know who he is." So, honestly, incredible transfers come out of nowhere. We've got it done really quickly, really professionally. You know, and it's just been typical with ease from United. It's not like he's our first right winger we signed for 12 years. But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said to you a minute ago before we started this, I am happy, but I just feel more kind of relieved because it's just over and I can't, you know, I don't have to scroll and look at stupid rumours and stuff like that. It's over. Yes. But the problem is now we've probably got about a 4-year saga for Raphael Varane or something. So, you know, one door closes, another door opens. But I mean, we obviously we got it last night, didn't we? Really, because I mean, after the England game, I was already on cloud 9, and you go on Twitter and you just see Rashford. You know, that man can do anything, can't he? And he put yes with a kiss, and you're like, oh, signed Sancho then. Pretty good evening. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've done one of these for various reasons. We've all been quite busy. One thing I want to ask you first. How did you meet Mini Minter at Wembley? Really throw me off.
It's not the first time this has happened. I have met him before, but yes, we don't have we don't have any links or anything like that. But I have spoken to Simon Minter before. Those who don't know, the Mini Minter, him and Randolph were there yesterday. We've just talked about little things, little things like YouTube. Like football, who's winning Big Brother Club's final round? Nothing interesting. Just the typical. Yeah, they're good sound guys. They're sound guys. They're good people. They're as advertised on your daily dosage on your daily screens. Yeah, they're good people. I like talking to them, and there's those who think, oh, YouTubers are snobby in public, don't say hello to people. Yeah, they say hello to you. Don't worry about that. They're nice guys. He says it himself. If you approach me in public, I'm not afraid to say hi. It's nice. He'll always be forefront with you. If he's as confident on a camera as he is in public, then there's somewhere to go. But yeah, he's a nice gentleman.
I know, right? Through Twitter earlier, and I was like, Ahmed's the sidemen, or Mini Minter and Randolph. I was like, what's going on with the world at the moment? Are we in some kind of parallel universe or something?
It is a parallel universe, Alessi. We're not on planet Earth anymore.
Can I just say something we've not really properly mentioned yesterday? England beat Germany in a knockout game for the first time since 1966. And I don't know about you, that's the best I've felt after a match for so long. Like
my God,
it was just such euphoria, especially when the second goal went in. Pub I was in went absolutely wild. I still can't believe we actually beat Germany.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought, oh, here we go again. But I mean, England were good, weren't we?
Yeah, they were fantastic yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. I just want to say that. How long has it been? I wanted to touch on this, Alexi, really quickly before we go back onto it. Rano's tweet was 19 minutes ago. It's got 97,000 likes.
Jeez.
51,000 retweets already. That's 20 minutes.
I mean, if anyone is going to suffer from this saga being over, it's him, because his career has profited quite heavily.
Tenfold from us having to sit there and watch him on Twitter. As it's like it's like waiting for the magician to do something. He just stands on the stage without moving. The whole crowd look at him and they wait for him to move. And when he does move, it completely blows the world up into smithereens. It is incredible. I know we're definitely trying to enjoy this moment, Carly. We are trying.
Yeah, the good thing now with this being over is obviously we can park Sancho at last. I mean, God, it's been too long. And then go, okay, let's go and buy a holding midfielder or a centre-back. From what I've been reading, it's going to be a centre-back. I mean,
Yes.
obviously I'm not going to turn down a centre-back, but I would rather sign a holding midfielder. But at least we're getting some business done, I guess. Obviously City over the road, getting Grealish and potentially Kane, so we need to be on it. And obviously, with more and more teams going out of international competitions, there's more and more chance that we could get somewhere with someone like Varane, or even, I don't know, Declan Rice, whoever. I mean, this is a sign that this club is continuing its usual cycle of transfers, in the sense that we'll spend 1 year and then we won't spend the next year. It seems to be in alternate years, because obviously last year, we just got Tellez, Van der Beek, and Cavani. The year before was a big spending one, I believe. It was Maguire and all that. Then the year before that, Jose didn't get anything. Then the year before that, Jose got a lot. So it always goes in cycles with these owners. I don't mean to be negative, but I don't expect them to spend any money next summer now. I mean, I'll be interested to see how much more we spend on top of this. Was, I think, reported 90 million that we're spending on Sancho. I'll be interested to see, how much more money are we going to spend, I mean, who would you be thinking if you could pick an ex-target for us to sign? Who are you thinking?
A guy called Raphael Varane. I think he's the perfect man to lead our defense, and he's very good. He's actually he's won the World Cup. He's won the World Cup, apparently. That's probably the biggest trophy in the world outside of the Champions League.
Well, other than the Community Shield.
The Community Shield is actually a great trophy, probably unrivaled compared to many others. But the Champions League 4 times. Okay, World Cup winner 2018. Despite fraudulent defending with his compatriots from France, which is not entirely his fault, I would like to see him in a United shirt.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice.
It wouldn't be very a bad idea, in my opinion. Holding midfielder thing. I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think we've got to make sure a couple of other things need to happen first. Some geezers from Paris might be knocking on Edward Wood's door in a few days from now, I think, trying to coax Pogba off us, if that happens.
Oh, God.
But
honestly, if Pogba goes, oh, God. Then what?
Now what? Well, look, as I've said, we've drooled about it for so long. We've made it clear to ourselves that this was always going to at some point happen, and one way or another, once the day came that it happened, we would celebrate it. Even though it's been so long, it feels like that old 84 years gif comes to mind. Once it did happen, it would become a manifestation of everything we all hoped for and yearned about for so long. And once it happened, everyone's going to explode about it. Now we just have to wait and see, once the Euros are done, what happens next to Varane. I think Varane's done, in my opinion. I think Varane is practically done. Because if the Spanish... Do you know what I think it's done? Not like a done deal, like it's completely finished. He's holding the show and anything like that. First of all, they're out of the way. The French are out of the Euros now. There's really no point discussing now. They're out. So you've got time now to sort of bring him in, talk to his representatives and him if you want to, agree a contract, and then go over to Madrid and say, he's in the last year of his deal. This guy shouldn't cost more than this amount of money. So if you're not going to accept this deal, I don't know what you're going to accept. I mean, if Parisian money is the only other thing that's going to get Madrid's eyes lighting up in dollar signs. But for me, United, I think, have this done. Because if they're already talking to his representatives and are more or less drawing up plans for what his contract's going to look like, and that's just rumor based, that then the mole at Old Trafford is doing a very good job right now, because he's definitely leaking the right things out at the right times, just to sort of quell the fans a bit. And I think Varane is probably done behind the scenes, but not like complete.
That's a big shout, Ahmed. That's a very big shout.
If I'm wrong, then I'd put my head on a spike. Let's put it that way. I would put my head on the spike.
No, we don't want you to do that regardless whether you are wrong. I wouldn't want to see that.
No one does. I'm not insisting it. Don't worry.
No.
The next best thing, I don't know. I'll probably, I don't know, something fraudulent. I'm not going to really digress that right now, but probably leak nudes. That might be the next worst thing I could do. Before we lose our heads here on this, I called this a lot of Euro waffles. We are going to talk Euros, but the Sancho news has obviously overwhelmed us. So before we do talk about the Euros properly, let's turn into professionals now. We've brought him in. We've solved a problem on the right-hand side at last. And it feels like an eternity. Angel Di Maria was the last player that we knew of to play on that side. And really, after a year, we've then lost all composure down that right-hand side of the field. We've now brought in one of the best young talents in European football at a fee leading up to 90 million, but we have got him, according to our Queen's English, at 72 million pounds, which is yes, mate.
That's what Chelsea paid for Kepa
and for Pepe. But Arsenal,
yeah. My God,
we've bought talent in.
That's half a Coutinho.
Yes, it is. Barcelona must be livid right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the economics of it, it's actually a very good deal in the end. 72 million, very, very good price. I think because it's been going on for so long, I think we forget how good of a footballer he is, and the fact he's 21 years old. And I think now you look at our side and you go Sancho, Rashford, Greenwood, Ahmad. I've forgotten a lot of people here, but other younger players in our side, even maybe Dean Henderson, they're players that could be in our side for 10 years and will only get better in that time. Because Rashford's 22, Greenwood's 19, Sancho is 21, Amad Diallo's he's about 12, isn't he? He's very young.
He is very young.
The difference between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is buying players. He's acting like he's going to be the manager for 200 years. You know, he's building ahead. Whereas Mourinho was acting like he was going to be the manager for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, he was correct about. But we've seen a big switch because we've gone from targeting Perisic and Willian and Jerome Boateng. And, you know, Ollie's bought Sancho, which is a really significant thing. I mean, it's interesting as well because, you know, a lot of his signings have been English.
He promised it.
But I don't think it's been yeah, he did. And I don't think it's just been English for the sake of being English. I think we've got some really good players. Obviously Sancho, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka are all really good signings. And I think he's doing what Ferguson used to do, kind of having a combination of a British core with obviously players from everywhere as well. I think that's a pretty good way of doing it. And that's, I mean, I think the beauty of football, isn't it? That who was it I was watching the other day said something about this. I think it might have been Ian Wright when he was talking about discrimination and stuff. The beauty of football is you get all these people from these different cultures and different countries and you bring them together and they do brilliant things together. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts now on the impact you expect him to make? You know, are we talking 5 goals against Leeds on his debut? Are we talking Ballon d'Or? Are we talking, you know, a treble? I mean, I said earlier that we're going to win the treble, and someone rightly corrected me and said it would be the quadruple. So,
oh yeah, I
do stand corrected. But what does signing Jadon Sancho now change your expectations for next season, or are they the same as now?
I just wish we had English. It's not my first language anymore. I just wish we had him in Gdansk. That's what, for me, my only concern. I wish we had him in Gdansk with Harry Maguire. If those two were there, we'd have won the Europa League. But as I've said, I lived on the sword and I died on the sword. So here we are. Look, Jadon Sancho, an immense talent. I think we've all been pining for him since the first embers of the transfer came about in 2019. We knew then, though, it was not going to be easy to get him out of Borussia Dortmund. And moving on to the following summer, the push from Solskjaer was clear: get him, because he's, one, British, two, he has a talent, and three, he could become one of the best right wingers in the world in the years to come. For us to have paid what we could have paid, the likes of Ousmane Dembele bought for in 2017. I mean, remember Barcelona spent 120 million on Ousmane Dembele, and he's been injured more than he's played, which tells you something. There is so much that vindication for me with Sancho signing. In terms of his performances, I still think we need to see him at the Euros yet. I think we have to watch him play at least a game or two in the Euros before we can really get excited, because we've known for about 2-3 weeks now he's a United player because of the fact that he's been heavily linked with It is football's worst kept secret, that deal being worst kept secret, because it was clear Dortmund promised him he was going to go at the end of the season, and once they completed their objective of getting back in the Champions League for next season, they agreed to keep their promise, and really it was just down to United to pay up because everything else was sorted. It was just a case now of actually getting the deal done, and it's a year too late, yes, but better late than never. And on the pitch, I think we have to see him at the Euros in a United shirt. Though we can more or less say that next season he will definitely be crucial. We will depend on him a lot, and him and Ahmad will rotate as well next season. That's for sure. Ahmad will enjoy
James as well.
Yeah, Dan James. That's the sad bit is I feel sorry for him because he's had a great competition. He had a great Euros. He's got momentum on his side. Where will he play next season? Because unless Martial leaves this summer, which
is possible,
it is possible because of the fact that one is being used. There is talk of a striker, so it may not happen this summer, but it could happen next summer. I do need money, and if a striker does go this year, I mean, I'm all for Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus, Fiorentina. Nobody will know about him except if you watch Serie A. You know why I'm pining for him. But if anything, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a striker. But the thing is, you've said just now the amount of players with on how young they are, the Rashfords of this world, the Greenwoods, the Ahmads. We're talking not even them, McNeil and Hugill killing it at the reserve and under 18s level, who could potentially break into the first team this coming season because of how well they played last season. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of any of those getting a proper shot at playing for United in the near future, because each their own. They have qualities that I think most teams will struggle to break down normally. But our team, now we have someone of his caliber. The synergy between those three up front will be immense to watch. And with Cavani tutoring Greenwood this season before he moves on to Uruguay or back home to South America, if he gets as much done under Cavani's tutelage, Greenwood, we have a top striker on our hands here. And then we would ask the question, do we even need Erling Haaland? It's a big deal. But look, first and foremost, John Mercer has to get credit for this, as does Darren Fletcher. Both of them have come in this year, and I thought we were going to struggle no matter what this summer to get everyone we wanted. The protests and all the furore around the Glazers ownership in some way has helped in exaggerating how important it is that the club they reinvest at Manchester United, and it gives us a hope to have this summer go well for us, hopefully for the better. But also in what I feel is crucial to our success next season is that they give Ollie what he needs to be able to build the team he wants, to shape them how he wants, to be able to use different systems as well. That for me is as important as anything, because we did not have a lot of depth. We had depth, but not a lot. And if we can utilize Sancho on the right with Ahmad or Dan James playing there one game after another, we're definitely going to go places next season. Still, for me, though, we've got a couple of other things to do. I hope we get those done. And should we get those done, I think then we can start to build on, look on ahead to who we get in our Champions League draw, or who we get in our how we look ahead in the first 10 or so games of the Premier League season. Because once we get to that really difficult period between October and November, because we haven't been on the show for a long time, we haven't looked at the fixtures in like proper detail on here, so we're going to probably look at that tonight because it's a waffle show, so we can talk about anything. We haven't looked at the fixtures yet, but our fixtures look okay for the first few weeks before we get to that really tricky period in the late autumn, early winter. So keeping him fit's one thing, but also making sure that the team are playing well at the time as well is crucial. If we have those two nailed down, principles nailed down, keeping Sancho fit and the team as consistent but also playing well as possible, we should be fine. But do forgive me, we do get to drool over the fact that he plays in the team with Bruno Fernandes next season.
Oh my God.
We get to drool over that. Oh. Can you think about how in mid-2019, we couldn't think of such a thing back then? And now, 2021, a bit late, but we get to drool over that now. We get to drool over Sancho on the right, Fernandes in the middle, Rashford, Martial, or James. Well, I like Dan James, of course, but Rashford, Martial on the left, and Cavani or Greenwood up front. We can drool over that now. We can drool over that front four like that. Or we can even, if we get the midfield sorted, 4-3-3. The 4-3-3, the fabled 4-3-3. That would be man's dream come true.
That's why I think, we're holding midfielder away from going up to the next level, because obviously this Sancho stuff, us needing a right winger, Matt Hancock is better at keeping secrets than that.
He's great as it is. It's a profession for him. No wonder Tottenham turned him down for the job.
I know. Yeah, he turned up and, they just realised.
You can't keep secrets, mate. We can't have you here. Go away. Get out of here.
He's just, if you tell him something, my God, it's like just going on a megaphone in front of the world, isn't it? You might as well just have a live broadcast of the world. Matt Hancock resigning really reminded me of when Ed Woodward left.
Yes.
It was like the kind of thing.
That was fun.
Do you know, it was one of those things where it was like, I'm really happy he's gone. It's brilliant. And then you realise, oh God, the root of the problem's still not gone, Because they're kind of, and like as human beings, they're very similar to me, Matt Hancock and Ed Woodward. I don't know why. They just both used to annoy me with very high volume. That was a tangent.
It's a nice tangent because at least we know he won't. By the end of this year, he won't be there, so we don't have to worry about his tomfoolery around the club anymore. For him, I feel like this is his parting gift. You should have given this to us last year, mate. Our Christmas last year was October last year. You should have delivered it to us to him then, and then no, okay, we couldn't get him then. So someone had to slap him around the head eventually after the Super League debacle, and finally we get it done. So great.
Yeah. Just do the protest all the time, innit?
Yeah, raid Old Trafford at all costs whenever we want to get a transfer done. Varane is not complete yet because contract isn't signed. Fucking get in Old Trafford and get him to sign the contract. What
do you think it's going to mean from an England point of view? Like
England-wise?
Because obviously he's got if he is signing contracts, he's going to have to leave the COVID bubble or whatever.
I think that I know it's okay with England. It's okay with England. You may have heard of a place called St George's Park, Alexi. There is a massive medical facility there, a huge fitness and physical activity facility, which caters to any kind of player, male, female, disabled, or even anyone with underlying issues. It caters for everyone there. Massive, huge. Anything you can think of, anything related to football, like football stamina, football longevity, injury recovery. If you're thinking of it, that's the place. It's incredible there. Manchester United officials, I believe, will be allowed to go down there, test permitted, to oversee the tests. He hasn't played at the Euros, so.
I don't think he's going to be tired, is he, or anything, or injured?
No. Other than just the basic training, like Rashford's doing roughly the same thing. Really, he's getting as close to a rest as possible. Rashford barely plays 20 or so minutes. Sancho's going to be the same by the time the season starts. So, for what it's worth, we can more or less divulge the fact that United can rest easy with that. I mean, he'll be fine for the start of the season. That's a guarantee. I don't think we'll see him during pre-season though, because he's trained.
We won't see any of them at all.
No, you won't see Fernandes, Lindelof, Rashford, Maguire, De Gea. Maybe in fact, De Gea will probably be in pre-season because he's not played for Spain. No. Yeah, and goalkeepers don't go through as much work as outfield players do. So De Gea more or less will be next season preseason will be available and start a few of the games for sure. I think it'll be good for him because he needs that number one spot back from Henderson. But Hendo's injured with the hip injury, so he's not going to get fit in time to start preseason. But for the start of the league season, he should be okay. Yeah, IMO. I think we've got a lot of hopefully good talent to come back once their break is over, because there's a nice video which I saw before the Sancho announcement came out of Victor Lindelof coming back to his house because Sweden were in the UK, having been around Russia and Spain the last few weeks and the Euros. And when obviously now Sweden being eliminated last night, Victor went home this afternoon, and there's a lovely video of him, his daughter opening the door and him running to him when she saw him. It was a lovely video, and I tried not to shed a tear or two, but it was a lovely thing.
Needed it after that last minute goal yesterday, didn't he?
Oh well, yeah. Sweden denied in the last minute against Ukraine, and I mean it was relief for both aspects as an England fan, because we tend to struggle against Sweden sometimes, but also as a United fan because he needs that rest. He's played a really good championship. And he probably deserved more than that last minute goal. But frankly, he's done so well. He's played a great championship. We're going to draw over England shortly, Alexi. Don't worry, I can see you're itching to get on with this. And I'll tell you more about my experience there too. Don't worry. If you are with us right now, like button on YouTube. Do that. Subscribe for more, because we're mixing everything up tonight. We did obviously plan for it to be a waffle session. We're still going to waffle, but with the Sancho deal having been announced, we're still quite delirious. So a reminder: Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, every source under the sun have confirmed that Manchester United have agreed 90 million euro deal, but we call it 72 million pounds here in England, for the Borussia Dortmund right winger, who's currently with England at the European Championships. It's a deal that stretches to 2026, and there are no add-ons. So John Mertens worked a blinder with Edward Wood there. We're all very excited, and we hope to see him by the beginning of next season. Once he gets his rest, he'll be back he'll start his first Man United game later on in the month. But yeah, we just talked about Victor Lindelof. Yeah, I'm happy for him and a number of other players because they all need the rest. So, particularly Bruno Fernandes. Was that 83 games since the beginning of Project Restart in 2020? So that's a lot of games, and yeah, you do worry a little bit. He says though that he's he doesn't feel tired for these events, but I feel he needs this time off now. He needs this month or so off. So I think, Alexei, we're not going to look like a team in the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season that will be at full strength. I think
No, but
no one will. We're going to probably be playing a few fringe players in that first 2 games against Leeds and I have to remember the fixtures now because I've lost my mind.
Who the second one is? I know that.
I know.
Away. That's all I know.
And it's a long ways as well. I'm just gonna make sure I gotta make sure I don't get my facts wrong here. It's a long way away to August the 14th, that's for sure. Our first game is against Leeds, and then we'll be away from home to away from home to Southampton. Yeah. So yeah, we're playing QPR as well, which I'm actually going to go to. I'm very excited to say.
The pre-season one?
Yeah, pre-season game away from home in London. I like the idea of that. I'm going to watch us play against QPR on the 24th of July. So that's planned. Yeah. And then we know Sancho, but there'll be certainly a few players I want to keep an eye on. It'll be my first United game I've ever watched since Club Brugge in 2020. So that will be exciting. Yes, it was Club Brugge's Old Trafford 5-0.
I remember
February the 28th. Yeah, it was a great night. McTominay scored a blinder. We had that Igalo goal, his first for United that evening. I was lucky to be there for that one. Who remembers him?
I remember I was sat in the Stretford end for that one. Fred scored right at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, smashed one in from 2 goals, in fact. He scored twice in the last minutes or so. I thought, wait, Fred scored twice? You're joking me, really? Yeah. It was a great performance. So it'll be my first game back. I'm going to admit now I'm going to miss the Europa League. I really love that competition. I love Man United in the Champions League. It's just destiny. You know that. I don't miss it as much. You know why? Because pressure. Every time we play in the Champions League, there's pressure. And while obviously we're a club with great history, we've won the competition 3 times, and I'm proud of that. I love this club for it. But I like the Europa League more because it's an adventure. It is a different sort of adventure. You go into places you don't go to very often. You play teams you don't play very often, other than the odd occasion where you may run into a Villarreal or a Roma.
Don't mention their name.
Sorry, I had to. I know I'm still hurting too. Don't worry, we are pain. We're in pain together, Alexei. Common friends become pain buddies as well. We've seen it all, but yeah, I miss the Europa League because that competition it gets me a bit excited. Plus, it's on Thursdays. There's no pressure for me to worry about the Champions League as much as I do the Europa League, and I wanted us to win it because we've got a good. We're good enough to win that competition, and I'd like us to become. I would like us to overtake Liverpool in that sense as well because they've won 3 of those. We've only won 1, sadly. So, I don't want us to keep dropping out the Champions League every season. I'd love for us to win it. I'd love for us to celebrate winning 4 European Cups and continue the lineage that goes down the years of Busby, Ferguson, as well. Solskjaer winning a Champions League though would top that.
It's happening next season, isn't it?
It's happening. Everything's coming home, isn't it?
I mean,
not just football.
This is one thing I don't actually agree with you on. I think we're very similar usually on our opinions, but I've got to be honest. After Villarreal, I hope we never have to play in the Europa League again. I'm still
I don't mind, mate.
Next time I hear that music, I'm just gonna get flashbacks to De Gea's missed penalty, and it's just it's gonna wreak havoc on me for years.
I'm hoping you don't have mental breakdown so soon, mate. Don't worry. I know. I'm only expressing it because I felt at the time when we were in the competition, that, this is ours to win. Both seasons, obviously, not just last season, but the year before. I felt this is our competition to win because we're the favourites. We were like concrete Europa League team. I thought we were good. And more or less, being in that competition means we're learning the rigors of proper European football. So next season, with no away goals, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to get your thoughts on this. But with no away goals, we're playing matches in the knockout phase that just get decided naturally by extra time and penalties if it's a tie. And also, I feel that we will benefit from this decision because we've been unfortunate with that for years, Alexi, years. Like when Real Madrid scored 2 away goals at Old Trafford in 2013, I thought, well, that's just great. Not only have they won the game, but also we can't beat them because we can't get them to extra time because they've got 1 extra away goal. So we can't. There's nothing we can do, and there's moments like those are the ones that are next in my craw. So for me, I feel like that the Europa League runs we've had recently are good learning curves of how to handle European football. So with the Champions League last season, we didn't deal with it as I thought we would, having played in the Europa League the year before. This coming season, I'd like us to learn from that mistake. We're more likely this season to get just a little bit of an easier group than we did last season because of the fact Chelsea and Manchester City are in the top 2 seeds. So that kind of narrows our options a little bit of who we can draw. On top of that, we could also we can. I hate to say it, we can draw Villarreal again, but yes, that's the one problem with winning the competition. We can draw them again. So we can run into Emery again. But any excuse at revenge is a good excuse, Alexi. We did it to Leverkusen when they knocked us out in 2002. So there's no worries there, mate. Don't worry. We can.
Yeah, revenge is all fun and good until we don't actually get revenge. Then we just lose again. And it's just really upsetting, isn't it? Really.
Frankly, it can be that way, but. I think we have a good enough team to get out of the group stage this year. Not only, we do. Last season was just a calamity because we bottled it against PSG, and we've talked about it a lot. The Istanbul game obviously was the one that changed it for us. So the less said about that, the better. And yes, having been there, great club, lovely people. I was hoping they'd help us when they draw Leipzig, but they let us down the last minute in that game. Also, Champions League Classic.
Speaking of the country where Istanbul is based, can I just say, I was so shocked at how bad Turkey were.
Bad.
In the Euros.
Bad, isn't it?
So
we here on the Traffic Talk show would like to confirm that Alexi's opinions do not reflect those of the show.
I was backing them to win the group. And then
Alexi, why did you go so hard for them? Why?
I don't know. I mean, in hindsight, I was off my rocker a bit, I think. I was just like, right, think about it. I looked at their team and they had really good players in every position, or like every area of the pitch, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? They're gonna win the group.
Yeah.
And then they lost to Italy, but I thought, well, okay, they'll still come second. And then they lost to Wales, and I was like, oh god, they really are quite bad. And then they lost to Switzerland. I mean, to be honest, like it's been the most unpredictable tournament though, because no one would have said Switzerland would beat France. If you told me that the quarterfinals would not include France, Portugal, Germany, Croatia, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Really. I do think England are probably maybe joint favourites, or maybe favourites to win the tournament now.
Well, let's see. I'm not disputing your comments at all, but I guess we can now talk about it. Yes, yesterday was fun. England are favourites. I've been talking to a few of my pals today who were obviously watching the game but didn't get the privilege of being there. I cannot tell you how incredible a feeling it was when Raheem Sterling scored. I accidentally went into the limbs. I still have a headache from that, but I thought I've not been in them since the last time I watched a football match. So why not? And when I just snuck inside to the row, I had to obviously avoid being caught. snuck in and celebrated my head off when we scored. It was absolutely incredible scenes. Because the privilege I have is I work as a media assistant at the ground, so I too you'll deal with the media and talk to the reporters and stuff like that. So when the goal went in, I didn't stand near them. I stood near the crowd and jumped in the back row just to join the party. And my word, were they scenes! People falling over, like whatever. There was no beer, obviously, but people were throwing scarves, shirts, everything into the air. There was incredible. Anything that wasn't valuable was tossed. It was absolutely immense feeling. Same for the second goal, the final whistle, everything in between. Just the day itself is a memory I won't forget in a hurry. To be a privileged person to see England beat Germany in a tournament football, it's amazing.
You've seen something in person that's never happened. Well, it's not happened since '66, and the atmosphere looks incredible. I mean, I kind of want to. I've always wondered about this. So, what does your job entail then at Wembley?
So I deal with, as I've mentioned, media. I deal with the matchday media crew and also with a number of other peeps in the stadium. So there's a team of us. It's not just me. There's about us and about 5 or 6 other people who get this allocated role per match, any game, any time of the year. So for the Euros, we've been working with assorted media from the Czech Republic, Croatia, Scottish media, and locals, and obviously English as well. Typical ones like Ornstein, like Simon Stone, the ones that you're used to seeing talking to Ollie and your favorite Premier League manager every once in a while. Basically, we help them with like team sheets and key data for the game and what the idea is with like interviews and stuff like that. So that's predominantly what I do. Yesterday was as hectic as you can imagine it was after the game was over. So we're having to get Raheem Sterling, Declan Rice and co. To be interviewed by each and every person who was keen to get them to talk to them. And it's been a good hour and a half after the game dealing with that, then having to get Jogi Löw's salty face on TV. So it's safe to say, yeah, he's bowing out in some style.
Sounds like a really cool job, though.
I started out as one of those people who you just talk to on a basis inside the stadium, like on the concourses, and then got promoted in 2019 when we when they needed people to stand work over there. So our team was expanded, and they got me to do it because obviously with my relation as a commentator, I need to talk to all sorts of media peeps. So you do get like close to the not in the red zone, but you get close to the players because the media have to stand in a certain zone behind the barriers or the LED boards. So they were just off one yesterday, the English media off one. And yeah, mate, I mean, just the sheer joy of yesterday pales in comparison to 66. It has the feeling now of the potential that we could get in. And Sancho, you know what, mate? I don't blame you, son. Welcome to the club. We've drooled over it. We've drooled over it all night. Not just England winning yesterday, but also Sancho signing for United. We're still reeling from it, mate. It's been an hour since the announcement even came out. Just about an hour. We still can't believe it. But we're talking Euros now. So yesterday on its own was a great day. I think we'll never have, for an occasion of importance and of quality, or just the fact the memory of it like that again. It can only be beaten by England winning the Euros because obviously major tournament victory is the end goal here. Yes, beating Germany will live on as a memory on its own forever, but will be cemented even further should England win it. And we do have the tricky task of Belgium and Spain and on Italy on the other bracket, so we don't have to worry about them. But on our side, we can.
If we played, I know we don't have to play them till the final, but if we played one of them tomorrow, I think we'd really beat them. I mean, yesterday was such a professional performance. I think what was weird is it didn't seem that hard, really. It didn't feel like we were playing Germany other than that Muller chance. It was quite straightforward. But I'd like to quickly make a point about Southgate because he is someone who gets a lot of criticism. But England have won 9 knockout games in their history, right? Only 9. And 3 of them have been Gareth Southgate. So 33% or a third of England's knockout wins ever have been with Gareth Southgate in charge. He came in after Euro 2016 when we lost to Iceland. Obviously, Hodgson had left, and then Sam Allardyce left straight afterwards as well. He came into a really, like, the lowest England have ever been. He got to the semi-final of the World Cup. He's then got to this point in the Euros without conceding a goal and beating Germany. I mean, do you agree? I mean, what's your thoughts on Southgate? Because I don't think he's perfect, but I think he's underrated because people treat him awfully, and I don't understand why.
I'm not gonna lie, Alexi. I had feelings about Southgate as a manager where I didn't think he was going to be capable of replicating that 2018 performance in this championship. I'm not going to deny it. I do feel like a bit of a critic of him because our Nations League run, if anything to go by, our Nations League run wasn't very good. And I felt that is a tournament England can win. If they're not going to be good enough at the Euros, Southgate should at least try to target the Nations League. The problem being we were fished into a group with Iceland, Denmark, and Belgium. And Belgium obviously usurped the group to get into the final four, whereas Denmark gave England a very hard time. And I thought then, he obviously hasn't got his final team. This is not going to be his preferred choice 11 for the Euros. He's going to pick a different set of players for that, and hopefully they'll perform when asked upon, particularly at the time because there was a number of players he would have liked to have had in the team, but were either injured or unavailable. Like, for me, even when Trent Alexander-Arnold was ruled out, could be a shout for Ward-Prowse or Jesse Lingard to come in the team, but neither of them got the chance. So at the end of the day, harsh. But when it comes to the thick of it, when it comes to the moment when a tournament starts, he then sorts himself out a bit. I think he sorts his tactical nerves out a bit. He starts to learn of the mistakes he made in the last World Cup because he's been in the job now for 4 years, so 4 to 5 years. So. In fact, 5 years. He's been in the job for 5 years now because he took over from Sam Allardyce in 2016. So that job has been a poison chalice. And he's now the longest running England manager since Sven-Göran Eriksson. And
is he?
Yeah.
Thank God, it makes sense.
Yeah. He's at least beaten him. But he is the longest manager of England since Sven. And between that, obviously, we would like to have seen a lot more from England, but having been a player, having experienced the pressure, having been the player, experiencing that pressure of trying to deliver on a big occasion at home, he's using that experience to his advantage and exercising the demon that came to him in '96. Yesterday was one massive step. I feel like a huge hurdle for him has been overcome. Yeah, on a personal level as well. Yes,
because he said after the game that he saw David Seaman sat in the stands and he looked at it and went, I kind of let those guys down missing that penalty, and it felt like for him he was kind of making up for it a bit,
Yeah, because David Seaman, unfortunately, that night was the England goalkeeper, and despite. Okay, there's nothing he could do about Stefan Kutz's equaliser. That happens. You concede those kind of goals. Germany were on top at that point of the game, and Andy Muller was having a blinder. But at that point, you look at it and think, when it gets to the nitty gritty, England have had chances. They haven't taken them. We've hit the post. We've had a variety of other matters at hand to consider in that game. Unfortunately, we couldn't deliver. And yes, everyone misses a penalty. Like last night, or on Tuesday night, Monday night, Mbappe missed the penalty for France that knocked them out of the tournament. He's one of the best players in the world right now, is Kylian Mbappe. He will miss penalties in clutch moments. Yes, Marcus Rashford will score one, but maybe he's missed a few for United. It's happened. when we had that little penalty debacle earlier in the 1920 season.
Oh yeah,
Pogba missed a penalty. When Pogba missed a penalty, then Rashford missed a penalty. We were starting to, Martial as well. Yeah, we were starting to miss them on a regular basis. We just wondered when we're going to score one next. That's happened.
Why we Bruno.
Is why we got Bruno Fernandes. Exactly. It looks like Pogba's sorting up his run out anyway, so we don't have to worry about that long thing anymore. But for me, Southgate exercised demons last night. He has now made up for Euro 96 and for those who he let down that night. We do think of the what ifs, and we now don't have to, because that big hurdle for him and for not just him, but for anyone who was there or for anyone who's been living on the memory of that particular night for such a long time, that's been exercised now. We still have a few more demons to get rid of, like the Argentina one on penalties, and moments like the Croatia game. But we can sort of rest ease now on that front. The next big hurdle is obviously the quarterfinal. We can't say it's a massive challenge, because Ukraine and England natively, it always goes England's way, because England tend to do well in this stage of a competition when it comes to playing against a lesser side. But Ukraine, I don't expect us to really have too much trouble against them. So Czech Republic and Denmark will worry about when we get there. But for sheer memory, I think we have got to take yesterday as like a resounding moment, and it will last. It will last for as long as we'll know it. So yeah,
it's one of those memories, that those games that will be looked back upon the years. I mean, just before we go, I've got some breaking news, but right, I'll say the breaking news, and afterwards, I think what we should do quickly is just say what we think our final outcome for the Euros is going to be, like what we think is going to happen. I know me and predictions aren't very good, but I'll try. I mean, it's not a surprise, this news, but Nuno Espirito Santo has been announced as the new manager of Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, God. Right. I have my WhatsApp on my right-hand side, and I'm not going to say much more than the fact it has just exploded. So that's it for me in that aspect. I could show you. There was some explosion, yes.
But so that's more news today. Obviously, Everton also hired Benitez, gone down well. But so Ahmed, I will come to you first. What is happening? Obviously, you don't have to give me specific scores, but just very quickly, just say winner of quarterfinal, semi-final, and then obviously the final.
Okay, here we go then, everybody. Well, my feeling is right now, England are the joint favourites to win the European Championship. My co-favourites are Belgium, because it's the quality of the team. It's the golden generation. Recent history tells me, though, that we are touching the final now. We have practically got within sight of it. I think the Ukraine game will be one of those we can just say to ourselves, this is a game which we just need to get the job done as soon as possible, so we can focus immediately then on the next game against Denmark. That's the first thing. If we get the job done early, then we'll be fine. We'll just start focusing on the next match, get players on, rest the key men who played well against Germany for the semi-final. So we'll get through against Ukraine. I think Denmark are, as I've said many times, are the true underdogs of this tournament, and they're playing with renewed pride for Christian Eriksen. So for that alone should get them past the Czech Republic, because their Czechs have become quite good recently. If, however, the Czechs do get past Denmark, we will go to the final. Why? We've already beaten the Czech Republic in the competition. We know enough about them from the earlier stages in the tournament. But for a semi-final, we'll probably turn up in a much more effective manner. So we'll score. We'll probably score more. So yeah, England are in the final, no doubt about it. If it's Denmark, then we'll have a different game, because Denmark, as I've said, are playing with renewed vigor, but have turned into a really good team. They have unified as one in these last 2 weeks. They have become a side that are increasing in confidence on a daily basis, and now more than ever are showing us as like a football team what they're capable of doing. I mean, they have won the competition before in '92 in circumstances that were different. I'm not in any way comparing the two because they are completely different on the spectrum, but in '92 they had to come in last minute because of the atrocities going on in Yugoslavia. So of course that was unfortunate for Yugoslavia, but Denmark took the opportunity, went in, were underdogs then, and won the competition. They're going to feel the same way now because heading into the tournament anyway, they would have felt like underdogs with the group they had. They had native followers in Finland and Belgium. Russia, I felt like they could run over them easily because Russia are just a bad team, and they don't have as much. They had that World Cup bug, which got them far last time, but this time I didn't think they were going to make it. So
yeah, World Cup bug.
Exactly. That's you can read into that what you will. Obviously not going to be in the next one because of a doping ban they're serving. But this for me is really more or less an England final. Who they'll meet. Switzerland have been amazing. To get past the French on its own is an incredible feat. To beat the world champions is an incredible feat. So it shows that they cannot be seen as pushovers in that side of the bracket. If they do get past Spain, I think my honest opinion is they'll fall short to one of either Belgium or Italy because one of those two will turn up. If you want my biased view is I prefer Italy in the final because yes, they've got experience, but England will prepare themselves for that. If we play against Belgium, though, no matter who we play in the final, we'll try and turn up anyway. But if we play against Belgium, though, Southgate has again got a reference point, the Nations League ties, to look at where England and the World Cup when we lost in fourth place and twice, in fact, to Belgium. Yeah. The fourth place playoff being the worst one because we sacked off the third group game. But we have the placeholders, and those Nations League games are placeholders. If he's able to adapt the team to be able to conform to what Martinez is going to try and do, then sure. If it's Italy, you rip up the scrapbook. You have to learn a whole new way of trying to stop them because Italy play it free at the back. They have combative midfielders. They've got a good attack. And they've played at Wembley already. So they know the time. They know what to expect from playing at a venue like that. So England will get to the final, but my feeling is simply because at this point they need a trophy. Belgium will probably make it. Spain should be in the semi-final, though. That's a guarantee. Spain should be in the semi-final unless Switzerland do an absolute matter and do it again.
Yeah.
If they do, though.
I tend to think with these kind of things, lightning doesn't strike twice, but obviously you can't write them off.
No.
England,
Belgium. Yep. To win it, I can't tell you. I genuinely can't tell you.
Go on.
It's coming home, isn't it? Because England it's set up for England to win it. It's been set up since the announcement was made by the fraudulent Platini when he thought of the idea in 2015. So next Euros, we're going to put in 11 different cities. A ridiculous idea initially, but it's happening no matter what anyone else thinks about it, apparently. Here we are then. The finals in London, at Wembley Stadium in 2021, a year after it should have happened, but here we are. Now it's just about getting the job done and putting their names in the history books forever.
So
England.
What we're saying, you have just said that England and Belgium will play in the final when England are winning the Euros.
Yes, my friend.
And I am agreeing with you on who's winning the tournament. That is obviously England. I mean, we know that. Goes without saying, doesn't it, Ahmed? It's going to be England-Italy in the final.
England-Italy.
I think this is such a bold prediction. I think we're going to win on penalties,
Well, I trust your judgment, Alexi. If it's Italy in the final,
it's all fun and games this until we lose to Ukraine, isn't it? God.
Oh, well, look, I'm not one to come here after we lose to Ukraine and say, well, we fucked it. But
that would
alas,
be a Villarreal level disaster, wouldn't it?
Quite close to Villarreal, maybe more. Could be just edging it by 10 points. But who knows? Who knows?
Obviously, the main message that me and Ahmed want to give everyone is that it is coming home. That is,
like it or not.
That is a fact, as Rafa Benitez would say. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up now.
You've got stuff to do, haven't you? Yes, busy. Pleasure.
Various things. Obviously, it's been an eventful day, to say the least. It's been the most eventful day, footballing wise, I can remember since Super League times, because we've had England win their best. I mean, it's best England win I've ever seen in my life. I'm guessing it's yours as well, potentially.
Pretty close. I mean, Colombia ranks high.
Oh yeah, Colombia was
because penalties and the vibes of the summer, innit? But
it was like yesterday. Was a lot like Colombia in the sense we banished a curse. The penalty curse went last time.
The Germany
curse went yesterday. But obviously, pleasure speaking to you, Ahmed. I'm sure we'll do another one of these again very soon when we ramble.
Certainly. Yeah, we will ramble again.
I'm sure you'll have more stories about various random celebrities you've met at Wembley on your work.
I can't guarantee anything, Alexi, but we will definitely talk about it soon, and I'll tell you more stories about how millimeters of San Giza. All right.
Yeah, it'll probably be like KSI or something next time. But
I mean, if he gets out of his house for a start. Thank you, Alexi. I appreciate it, my friend. I'm like you. I'm going to be back to do more waffle like this in the near future. We liked the last one because we drooled over rough stuff. Today we talked about Sancho. I remind everybody, Jadon Sancho is now a Manchester United player. I hope you're happy. Finally, we can rest easy now. Romano's gonna probably go off and have a pina colada or something. But yes, that's it from us. Like, subscribe if you want more of this on Trafford Talk. I'm gonna do a 15-minute Trafford Talk show tomorrow. Transfer Talk show tomorrow to dissect the.
I wonder what you'll be talking about. I can't.
I'm probably gonna talk about some English geezer that just signed for United. Apparently, it could be actually him. Yeah, it could be about Tom Heaton tomorrow, or the fact that we have sold someone to FC Copenhagen. But yeah. I'll talk about that tomorrow, so tune in then. But thank you so much, Alexia, and thank you to everyone who watched this evening's waffle. And we'll see you again very, very soon. So until then, adios, everybody.